Good morning, everybody. Continuing with my Grand Rapids trip, got a little bit delayed this morning. Some bad weather came through the area. You might be able to see all those dark clouds back there. Luckily, they're clearing out, and it looks like we're gonna have about a 6 or 7 hour window to fish today. Man, what a contrast. Last night on Favorite Lake, it was just the most beautiful night on the lake. It was just such perfect weather. Also, had a special guest with me, Sean. Man, Sean can fish, and we were able to get a Favorite Lake limit thanks to most of the fish that Sean caught, but we both caught a bunch of fish last night. Sean, thanks so much for joining me over at Favorite Lake. We even got into a bonus walleye, which was pretty cool when you're bass fishing. I'm gonna get unloaded here, gonna drive out to our lake and see how things look. It's about maybe 20 degrees cooler than it was when I finished last night, so I think we'll call that a cold front. But you know what? It's Grand Rapids. The fish always bite. Let's go fishing. Morning, everybody, or should I say late morning. I'm at a lake that I've been to twice. It's a long lake, and I went to the north end last year. Had some luck on smallmouth. There's both small and largemouth in here. And now we're back on the south end, which I haven't been to in about 3 years. The last time I was on this end of the lake, I was only fishing pretty much with a frog, and I got a really nice bass right at the end. So with the chatterbait, with the jig, crankbaits, we got a lot more to use now, and no matter what the conditions, we should be able to find them. So we're gonna, as usual, get out on the lake. We're gonna see what the lake wants to give us. The nice thing is we're in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and if this lake isn't producing, there's one just down the road that we can try. But hopefully we're gonna get some big ones on this lake. Landing's not busy, might as well fish all the way out to the main lake. These channels can be good. Ooh, there we go. I was just thinking, they just gotta show us where they're at. See if we can get another cast over there. All right, we did have one show himself, so they're not all sleeping. I do have to say that this, I think some people call it eel grass. It's not my favorite grass to fish in with a frog. Yet, maybe after today it will be. This looks like a nice little stretch here. We're gonna, got 6 feet right by the boat. There we go. Just looked like there should be a fish there. You know, that wind calmed down. We got on just the right stretch. We got ourselves a nice fish. Look at that guy. Well, let's see. This is New Lake, not Favorite Lake. So we'll go by that 80-inch range for our best 5. Let's see what we got to start with. Good start. 16 and a half. There we go, 16 and a half inch. Always nice to get the first fish in the boat, especially when you come up on an area and you just look at it and you go, yep, there's got to be a fish there. The reputation of this lake is that it's a good average size bass, and I would say that was a nice average bass. I believe it's also that there's some big ones too. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 casts. We're just going to work our way down, throwing it just into the weeds here and bringing it out. I'm guessing there might be a couple more waiting along this line here. So just throwing it about a foot in there, hopefully getting it out clean. You kind of saw that guy waited until it got into the open water and then he smashed it. That seemed like a perfect spot for that fish to set up, because the wind is coming right here and there's just a little slack there, almost like a river situation. There we go. Another nice guy. Wow, they're kind of a golden green in this lake. Just kind of slurped it in like he was supposed to. Nice fish. 17 3/4. Nice. 17 3/4 inch bass. 2 in the boat. That last one was close to 18 inches. When I looked at this little stretch, I thought it looked pretty bassy, if that's a word. Got some access out here to deeper water. The wind's coming around the corner just like it should. There we go. Another nice one. These are some fat fish. Wow. Another one coming out of the reeds there. Look at that guy. Nice, and they're built. Let's give it a quick measure. We're touching 17 inch bass. Oof. That's why we have that tethered. There we go. I thought, should I get a tether for that catch board? Answer is yes. All right, that's 3 fish along this little stretch here. Can we squeeze out one more before we get to the end? Find out. I remember not fishing this area last time on the other side of this because there's somebody over there. Maybe it's time to give it a shot this time. You know me, I love to bump a frog around the reeds. Maybe we got some fish working around the reeds. Interesting lake. It's got almost every structure you can think of for bass. Oh, there we go. And a reed fish. Our first little guy, but I always think with the little guys, is it chunky? And yes sir, it's a little chunk. Oh, well, I might be disappointed in a tournament. I just dropped that guy. We didn't get a chance to measure him. Keeping an eye on the time today because by about 1:30, it's a possibility of some more thunderstorms. So got a couple hours, can explore this lake a little more. There we go. I thought it was about a 40-inch northern with those weeds trailing. All right. Just where we thought he could be. Another great fish. Look at this guy. Just kind of slurped it in. Good fish. I have a feeling he's going to be live bait, so we'll put him down here. He is 17 inches. Another 17-incher. Chunky fish. All right, let's get him back. So even in this pretty strong wind, if you take the right angle, you got a chance at a fish. And it just looked like with this wind blowing in here that there could be some fish hunting in these weeds here. We took the time to come all the way around this corner. On the far corner over there is where we got our last bass, and it seemed like the angle really helped. So we're gonna come around here. We're gonna bring our frog with the waves and see if we can get that 5th bass to bite. See how we got everything just coming right towards us. So throwing up about halfway. Usually the very end is the best, but fish all the way up just in case. Like I say, we're not looking for 100 bites today. We're just looking for the right bites. Oh, there we go. All right. All right. That guy came back for it. Is he on there? Oh, that was a good fish. Oh, thought we got a good hook set on them. So much fun when they show themselves and then come back. Just sometimes you don't get that hook set on them, or they take it down into the weeds. If you've ever seen the movie Dumb and Dumber, there's that old line, so you're saying there's a chance? They're saying there's a chance. All right, that's the first one we've got kind of away from like the windy edge. That's the good news. The bad news is our frog is toast. The front part got all mangled. One thing we got are frogs, so. Man, it looks like a bass would live in there. Got the lily pads, got the other weeds around it. Oh. That looked so good. Did we get him, or did he not feel it? Because right now, if he didn't feel it, he's swimming back. He's going, how did I miss that frog? And I'm like, how did I miss that fish? All right, what are the chances that that fish is still up there? Oh. Fishing has a way to teach patience. Alright, we'll bring it through and see. Maybe we didn't get a good hook set on him. There we go. And there he is. Slinger in her. All right, we're gonna measure him to our 5 fish limit. Just in case we don't get another one on the way in. Feisty guy. 13.5. So if we need to, we'll add our 13.5. Look at that guy, how he's built though. Just round as round can be. There we go. Had to get the right cast in there, and that fish was willing to bite. Just had a bite in here. I'm not sure if the camera was on, but a couple of throwbacks. Hasn't come back yet. Looked like a pretty nice one. Kind of as the ticket, just working a frog slow through the stuff even with the wind. Every kind of open water than beginning has been decent for a hit at least. Just having cashed a couple of them in. One we had on and it took it into the weeds, and then this one just kind of went over the top, but I wasn't able to get a cast out there right away. All right, we got a couple of points coming up here. These are the areas that have been good for bites. We haven't been able to cash in. All right, to the next point. Fish in between a little bit. All right, here's another point coming up. Get them all. Coming up on one of the areas where I missed a big one. See if we can get it to bite. There's got to be a good one off of this corner. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that looked like a good one. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Hit it like all the other big ones did too. Saw the tail. So it was frustrating when you have a plan and you're working an area just the way you want to, and then you finally get that fish to hit and you don't close the deal. It's that old saying, that's why they call it fishing, not catching. We shall move on. It was a fun stretch. I only caught, what, a 13-incher, but had lots of chances at other ones. On a slow day, that's all you want, is a few chances, especially when most of the fish have been big when you get one. If the weatherman is right, we're gonna have some weather moving in. So I'm gonna get moving back towards the landing. We'll fish on the way there and see if we can get our one more big one. That was a nice fish. All right, we're gonna try what we were doing on the other side. There's another channel that goes up here. And we're gonna try to go around and fish through the way the wind's coming. We're headed towards the landing because the wind is coming this way, but that big thing is coming our way. And 2:30 was the time that they said possible thunderstorms, and it's 2 o'clock. Finishing up my late morning to early afternoon fishing. Had just a small window of time to fish. There's a thunderstorm coming through, so I thought better safe than sorry. It was a good day of fishing. I kind of like these days, mostly big fish. So had a goal to kind of fill out a 5-fish limit, which I did. There was one 13-incher in there, but all the rest of them had some pretty good size to them. So I measured, and I'll put the total somewhere up here as I usually do. But to me, that's kind of fun. It's fun to be at a lake where maybe you don't get a ton, but the ones you get are pretty good. And I had a chance at about 4 more big ones. Man, just needing one more, sometimes that 5th big fish is tough to get. All right, well, this was leg 3 of the Grand Rapids trip. Looks like our day might be cut a little short, but that's okay. We have tomorrow morning to fish, and I think we're gonna go back to Favorite Lake. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you on the next leg of the trip.